So for officers on patrol, wear a sling, right? Whether you want to or not, but carry a sling, have it on you. But being able to retain your weapon. So basically, especially if he looked like he's going to grab the weapon, obviously shooting would be like number one if you're justified to that level of force. But two things, if you're going to use a barrel punch, I'm going to bring this underneath my arm, and as I'm here, I'm actually punching with my body.
Get back, get back.
So it's here, it's like I'm punching through, right? Because if I do this, it starts to come out of my shoulder. So I can still do this, but this really keeps it ready for the next step. So here, nice easy barrel plunge. I usually go to the solar plexus, but be prepared because they're gonna grab onto the barrel. So if I'm here and they grab onto it, right? So if he grabs the barrel, he's gonna divert it so I don't shoot him, right there. So to shoot him, if I go to this retention position, all I'm doing is I'm just pulling it back as I start to shoot. So I step back, lower my hip, and shoot, right? But it recenters. Even if he tries to keep it off of center, it doesn't matter because as soon as I bring it back, that's where I'm going to shoot. So close quarters, it also recenters it on his body so I don't hit someone else. So those are your two options. So barrel punch, boom, right? He grabs it, diverts it off, boom. The next one is going to be where we're actually transitioning. So this either jams or it goes down or it's not effective. And that is where I'm gonna get close, right? Because I don't want him controlling it here while I'm trying to go to my gun, right? So what we're gonna do is basically, as I'm here, notice it's still kind of tucked because I want to get really close and personal to him so he can't go to this gun. And I'm just gonna come over the top and I'm gonna shoot downward, either through the hip, all right, or to the head, depending on the situation. This will end the fight sooner. If you're lefty, be cautious on putting the gun with the ejection port down. But hip shots by itself may not incapacitate. And you're also going to be flailing around. This is the static position, but be prepared to take your shot. So we have handgun. So let's talk about at distance that I don't want him to get a hold of the gun. So for a distance tool, we're just doing like a basic stop kick. So that I'll give a little, so if I'm here and he gets close, step back, boom. Just coming out, pushing him back, right? You notice I'm using my support leg. The reason for that is that if I'm using my rear leg and I kick and I miss, look where the gun's pointed. It's pointed in the wrong direction and I can't get it back and I'm exposing here. So really have, if you're a trainer, you want to practice with, because even if he's grabbing here, right, that makes him start thinking about something else. I would target like the lower abdomen area. It's not a snapping kick, it's more just to keep them from getting to it. But barrel grab's easy here, but if I bring it back here, it's a little bit closer. You can still do your strikes and stuff, but really controlling the weapon's key. All right, so on the stop kick, you can also take it offline. So if I'm here, right, because if your policy says you can't point it on someone, if he's here, I can bring it offline and launch so as he gets closer. I can still kick him away and get back and be ready to move offline. Because the problem with having weapons out and they're grabbing, once they close the distance, this is a very difficult weapon to use. All right, so some things to think about. The one thing we're going to end with is that if you're on the ground, rolling around, and Jeremy's on the ground, so let's just go to face up, right? So I'm going to have you scoot this way a little bit. So one thing that we've come up that if you're going to go in and control, and whether your weapon's back here, right, and if you have like a catch on it, but here's the deal. See, once I get on the ground, it starts to get kind of in the way. So move this way just a little bit. So what we're doing is, what we're teaching, especially for like SWAT team or those with rifles, is that once you're in here, right, notice that this leg, I'm going to bring it here. This leg is trapping the muzzle. So if he grabs a gun and starts to pull it, see, it's hard to pull it back into him. But notice that if it's here, he reaches across and he grabs it. Now we're fighting over the gun. Now we're going into the jamming. And see, here's a situation to where he's fighting over the gun, but where's my firearm? It's on the ground side. So how do I get to it? This is where the jamming would come in too. Either dumping the magazine, right? Putting it on safe, a little bit difficult here. Putting your hand over the ejection port, but you can see if I can get it here lower, right? See where it's kind of hanging? All I'm doing is I'm just hooking my leg around it, and I can still get in here and do what I need to do, but it's just trapping the barrel, because look where the barrel's pointed. It's pointed at the ground. So even if he takes it off safety and pulls the trigger, right? Even if you do it there, now I know I have to try to get back and jab it, right? So go ahead and pull the trigger again. You're doing it. All I'm trying to do, if I hear, then when I hear it go click, 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 we're back into the fight, because my gun's on the other side. Now, if I had to, I could go to my taser, if I thought that's an option, putting the probes in here. But just think about this. If there's other officers, I'm just controlling it. They should come up and take the contact shot.